Welcome to the 75th Academy, all about working with Nfield data. Can you move to the next slide for me, Sign?
Sure.
I will slightly before I hand you over to your presenter, give a bit of background of what we are exactly looking at today. The data format which most of you will work with is probably our the export of our fixed width, so our U or our DOT files. That is a fixed width format. That is a legacy format. It is the format that was used in the predecessor of Nfield, our NFS system. It's still the data format where most of our customers are working with, but natively, Nfield does not store data in a fixed width format. Natively, Nfield stores format in a database. That was also true for our latest versions of NFS, but in NFS, you couldn't get to the database. Actually, in Nfield, you can actually use that database. Some of the features in the Nfield Manager are directly addressing that database and not that fixed width format. For instance, the Nfield reporting, for which we have two academies, Academy 24 and 47. The quality checks in Nfield actually directly address those reporting, and you could also actually stream that data directly into a private SQL database. That is what we call the repositories. We have Academy 35 to explain that feature. That is not what we will be talking about today. We will talk as far as it is interview data concerned. So the fixed width, that will be our legacy format, and then the Paradata, which is not our legacy format. So if you are here looking to learn more about the reporting, it's Academies 24, 47, and 35 that you should take a look at. With that out of the way, I will hand you over to your presenter today, which is Sign from our Mumbai help desk. Over to you, Sign.
Thank you, Frank. Okay. Then today's agenda, we will discuss about U file, or call it as a dot file, and O files. Then media files, which includes your recordings, video recordings, silent recordings, and image capture. Then Paradata, this is another informational file you have when you download from the manager. And last but not the least, the audit log. Okay, so the U file. This is the close answer files, which contains answers to all the close questions, like the star code, star alpha, star number. So basically all the questions except star open. The first 60 positions in the U file or the DAT file are reserved for each interview. So you can see on the right hand side the table, the classification for the of 60 positions. So 1 to 8 is for the interview number. Then 9 to 10 is the sub questionnaire number. When you have in waves, then it will have a data over here, else it will be 0. Then interview time in seconds, number of screens shown during the interview, legacy, if it is NFS or not, then interview ID. So only for CAPI. If your survey is a CAPI, then there will be a data from the position 21 to 28. Date and time, last contact. 41 is reserved. And then again, 42 to 60, again for the legacy. So 61 onwards, the actual interview data is stored in the DAT file or the U file. Next, when you try to generate dummy data using NIPO Audit developer, so the close answer file which is saved is called the U file. So if your questionnaire name is test1q, then the close answer file will be named as test1u. This is again the legacy format, but when you download the data from Nfield Manager or using API, the data is downloaded in .dat format. So if your survey name is, for example, it's brand underscore test, then the close answer file will be named as brand underscore test dot file. Open answer files. Again, this is another format to store this is again another file which is used to store answer for the open questions, which is again star open data type. Again, even in O file, the first few positions in each record is reserved for the system. On the right hand side, you can see the default format. 1 to 8 is interview number, 9 to 10 is your sub questionnaire number, starting position of answer field in that file. So if in the questionnaire you have star open, let's say 62L1, so the 62 will be stored at the position between 11 to 15. It will be stored as 00062. Then the length reserved for the answer field in the dart file. It is based on the how much you have reserved for open answer. And 19 onwards, sorry, the 19 will be corresponding answer code for the blank, or it will be blank. And 20 onwards will be the your actual answer of the open question. In cases where the number of positions used for a single open-ended answer is larger than 999, or if your positions are larger than 6 times 9s, the O file format is extended. Again, this is for the legacy thing. The maximum position you can have in your questionnaire is 200,000 positions. But again, this is for the information purpose. The extended format is given on your right hand side, the another table. It is slightly different than the default format, but yeah. Okay. So U file. For example, I have already downloaded. When you open this, to open the dart file, you need to go to the file, click on open data file. I see some questions being posted about presentation, Frank.
It's what you prefer if you want to bring it in presentation mode or not, but it's what you prefer to do.
Okay. Okay. Since I'm using a laptop, I cannot turn it to large or zoom it or enlarge it. Okay. So this is again the dart file. This is the interview number stored from length 1 to 8. This is the sub questionnaire number. Then this is your interview time in seconds. Number of screenshots. Legacy, which is blank. Interviewer ID. It will, since this is an online survey data, I do not have any interviewer ID. So my actual interview data starts from the position number 61. You can see this in the bottom of your in your Odin developer, that from 61 onwards, the actual data starts in the data file. Position number 1 to 60 are reserved for each interview, regardless of the channel, whether it is online or CAPI. We will see how we can download a data file from the Nfield manager. You can directly click on this download data button, or you can go to setup, monitor fieldwork, and clicking on the download data. Since this is an online survey, I do not have any media files option over here. Okay, so in the interview status, you can download successful, screen out, dropped out, rejected, test data. And what other type of data you want to download? Do you want to download only close answer file, open answer file, or Paradata? Let's first download only close answer file. Again, the date range, 1st April. If I want to select any version, I will select all. I can provide the name of the file. If I do not provide or leave it blank, the file name will be the survey name. Academy 75, 24, 26. Oh, special characters are not allowed. As soon as I click on create download, an activity is created, and clicking on the icon bell icon button, you can see all your activities, whether it is running or completed. Once it is completed or it is in a definite state, you can download the data. Let's say I want to download. It is a zip file. I guess I downloaded something else. So I just selected the close answer file in my download, and I can download it separately. Okay. Any questions so far regarding the U file? Similarly, you can also download the O file from the Nfield manager. If you want to download only open answer file, just select open answer and create your download.
No questions so far.
Okay. Then the media files. Currently capturing of photo, video, audio recording or silent recording through questionnaire script is available in Nfield CAPI surveys only. So if it is an online survey, we do not capture any media, but if it is a CAPI survey, we have different types of media recordings, which you can see over here. Question audios are those audios which are captured through questions. Again, the video recording, the photo capturing, and the silent recording, which we do in the script using star REC command. Similarly, since this is an online survey, we do not have any media files over here. Let's download it from the survey menu. Let me select all the things. I do not want to download any other media file, any other type of data, just media recordings. Over here, I can choose one or choose all based upon my requirement. Say So as you can see, I downloaded all the media files available in the survey. This is the photo captured. This is silent recording, etc. If you want to download um, media files separately, let's say you want to download only audio files, you can just click on audio and remove all those tick boxes from other options. And similarly for rest of the options. Again, uh, if it has a lot of media files, the size of the download package will also increase correspondingly. Okay. Paradata file. Paradata is actually called as a technical data related to the interview, such as the ID of the survey, survey version, start, end time, interview location, etc. For different types of copy surveys, the Paradata types collected are also different. For example, if your sampling method includes sampling point, then you will have one additional label in your Paradata, which you call as a sampling point ID. If you have addresses, you will have additional labels such as address and address ID. And if it includes quotas, then you will have labels as quota variables. And if your sampling method is sampling point with addresses and quotas, you will have all of these options or additional labels in your Paradata file. But for online surveys, the data collected in the Paradata is little less. For example, you can see in the screenshot in the right hand side, it has very few options in here. One of the thing is the additional label, stratification, rejection, reason. This will be visible in your Paradata if your interview has been stratified, that is, the targets have been made in your survey and your survey is online. Other than that, you will not find this additional label in the Paradata for that interview. For more details about the Paradata file, you can refer Nfield reference documentation section 7.2. Okay, let's see how Paradata file differs based upon the your channel or sampling method. So the Paradata file naming will be uh, the name of your survey and the extension will be .csv file. Each interview you will have some in the labels. The first row will always be your interview number, the additional labels, and the corresponding values. Since this is a successful interview, I do not see the stratification rejection reason label. But for this interview, I can see this. So this is very important when you have a survey and you see a lot of interviews or respondents are getting stratified and because of some quota meeting the target and you're not and you don't exactly know which quota, then you can refer the Paradata file and look for this label. It will say uh, which quota or which exactly level where the stratification happen in your survey. Okay, let's see how it differs with your CAPI service. So you have little more information or additional labels in your Paradata when it comes to the CAPI service. You have client information, that is the device on which the interview was conducted, the device ID, something daylight, your local ID, offset. The sampling method for this survey was joint targets. Hence, you can see the quota and quota variable uh, labels in your Paradata. If this survey was, let's say, free intercept, then these two labels will not be present over here. Then sampling point ID and whether it was a test interview and time zone. Okay, so let's say, sorry, that was my sampling point with quotas. Let's see the Paradata file for joint targets. Again, you see quota and quota variable since it was a joint target sampling method, but you do not see any sampling point ID label in your Paradata file. You can find more information about Paradata thing in the Nfield reference documentation section 7.2, which is explained in depth about each sampling method and each uh, label in depth. Last but not the least, audit log file. This file is basically designed, or feature is designed to help users get more insight what the respondent has done during an interview. So the audit trail logs will deliver in CSV format, and the following and the format or the name of the file will be the survey name hyphen audit log.csv. You can see below the example of audit log file. You have certain columns which you will see in the demo section. Again, for if you want to know more about audit log file in depth, then you can also refer our separate or dedicated academy number with academy number 26 on our website. So as mentioned in the slide, that the name of the file will be the survey name hyphen audit log.csv file. So it has few columns. First, obviously, will be the interview number, the sequence order, the question ID, elapsed time. Elapsed time is nothing but how much time the respondent or the interviewer has spent on that particular question or screen. What was the navigation action, whether it was a next or whether it was back. And next is the question type, whether it was just a question or a job or a page. Again, this question variable will have when you use star bar in your question. The date and time when this question was appeared. Then, since this is a CAPI study, I have location information as well, which will record latitude and longitude along with the accuracy. The version is on which Nfield engine version the interview was conducted. External question ID, which is blank. Okay, so let's see. This was very short interview. I had only 3 questions. So I have only 3 order, or you can say sequence. The first question appeared in my survey was Q1, then immediately followed by Q2 and Q3. The time elapsed on each question is displayed here, and the action taken on that particular question, whether it was next or back. all these three questions were my questions, not page. I have not used any var command, so it will be blank, the time, and etc. In case this audit log file is very useful, if you see certain issue in your data, so you can check the audit log file whether the respondent has actually done a back and forth in your survey, like selected something in the first attempt and then went back in the survey and then changed the response, and due to which you finding discrepancy in your data, then this audit log file will be very handy to identify or investigate or to do investigation. Okay, so this is a very short survey, so I have very few questions. If you see the first for the this interview number 4, I have only 2 questions. It is because after the Q1, I have a start command in my survey and the targets were already met. So the respondent was shown the targets met screen and the interview was completed. Recap. We discussed about the U file when you generate using online, when you use generate using and NIPO online, NIPO Odin developer. The DAT file when you download the data from the Nfield manager. So these both are format for storing the closed answers. O file is a file format used to store answer of star open questions. Media files, again, you will have this option in your data download option only if it is a CAPI survey and not available for online surveys. And if it is a CAPI survey, you can download media files separately or in one batch. You can download question audios, question videos, photo captured, and the silent recordings. Next, the Paradata file is a more technical data file where you have additional information about your interview, that is start time, end time, interviewer ID, geolocation, sampling point ID, address ID, etc. based upon the sampling method or the channel. As discussed, stratification rejection reason will be available or will be visible only if the interview was stratified and it is an online survey. Next, audit log file. This is another file format which stores or keep the track of the time elapsed on each question during each interview. And if the interviewer or the respondent has done a back and forth, that will also be visible in the navigation column. Okay. So any questions we have so far?
Yeah. Questions are if there is any limitation on media file size for surveys.
Currently, there is none, but which media file are we specifically talking about?
Yeah, that's, I think, a good question.
Yeah.
The media files that the other question is what media file types are supported.
So media file support you're talking about is basically the when you upload the media files in the Nfield manager. This is something different than the media captured during the interview.
Yeah.
So these are two different media things. So the uploading you can upload images in .png, .jpg file. You upload videos .mp4. This is the uploading thing, and these are the media files which are used during the interview. That is, it is presented to the respondent or the interviewer or the interviewee. But the media capture which we discussed in this presentation or in this academy is captured during the interview. Let's say the interviewer captured the photo, there was a silent recording in the background for the quality assurance purpose, then the question audio or the question video.
Yeah, and as far as the limitations are concerned, I would say be sensible. You are using those files during the interview, which probably means that you are showing it on a computer screen. So there is no reason to upload a file which basically could be blown up till poster format. That is wasteful. It will cost a lot of time to upload it. It will cost a lot of time to download it to the device where it should be displayed. So be sensible. Where are you using this for? And that usually means you don't need the highest quality. Very often, all you are doing with those pictures are showing thumbnails. And that really should be a small size picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're showing, if you're showing an video on the screen in an online interview, then if you're using very high quality video, then it will take a lot of time and buffering to load the entire video, and which will hamper the quality of your the interview or the survey. So
and people aren't looking at this on a large screen anyway, so very little use to upload that. Okay. Let's continue.
No more questions. Any more questions?
No, that's all. Oh yeah, one more. How is the length of interview calculation? What length of interview is meant here? If this is the length of interview that is that you see in the U file, or in the .dot file, that is simply all the backspaces are included in that length of interview. But I would advise you to look at the reference guide that has a complete explanation on when timers start, when they end, what is included in a timer and what is not. It's, I think, a bit out of the scope for this particular academy. And then the last question, in CAPI surveys, does the image captured during interviews get compressed during uploading on Nfield surveys? Yes, it's uploaded as a zip file, but that does not remove much from a picture. So yeah, there is some compression, but technically those pictures cannot be compressed by much. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Then the recording of this session will be available later this week. Manuals are already up to date. If you have any suggestion or for a topic, please write to your address. There will be another session about data and exporting things.
And the follow-up question was if that has any influence on the quality of the picture. No, it doesn't. Just like if you use zip files, no, it just removes the empty space from a file, and there isn't much empty space in a picture file, which is why zipping a picture file doesn't give you much in terms of file size. Okay, and thank you, and I'll talk to you next week for the last session of our update sessions, and then we'll be talking about the export formats and the DSC for the Nfield Manager. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.